going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend, but you're ready to talk about AMC as we typically do here on Sundays. And two things we're going to talk about in this video exclusively is going to be the gamma squeeze that is likely to start this week and then heading throughout the next couple of weeks. And we're going to break down exactly why that is, because this is something that is not talked about all too often. As well as that, I want to go over my price prediction for the end of the week with AMC stock. We do tend to be very accurate when we do give these price targets, but always take them with a grain of salt. You, me, or the next guy does not know exactly what AMC is going to do. All we can basically go off of is the data and make our own assumptions. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I'm not a financial advisor, not a financial planner, so certainly do not base any trades off of what I am saying or what anybody else is saying. Your money is your money, and you should always want to protect your money and do what you believe in. So let's get into this video, guys. Hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel if you guys have not already. Check out the links in the description for Moomoo, Webull, and Public to get all the free stock your heart desires, and the link for the buy and sell alerts. If you guys want to be notified every time I make a trade in stock options and or crypto, that is your way to do that. Now, let's stop rambling. Let's get into AMC. So one important thing to know is that we were bullish on Friday. We did have a positive day of 1.37% in regular trading and then up 0.33% in after hours. So a pretty decent move in after hours as well. And when you see these green moves in the after hours, especially on Friday, you do tend to see green days on Monday. Typically, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are our most bullish days, but Monday in particular is usually always a green day. And especially if we do have a green day on Friday, like 95% of the time we have a green day on Monday as well. That's been the correlation throughout basically since the last rally in June. So that's pretty widely known information, nothing too crazy there. But what is essentially happening with this whole gamma squeeze situation, if you do take a look at the option chain, we do have a lot of contracts that are just out of the money expiring November 19th. And this is the monthly option expiration day. So you are seeing a high implied volatility, well over 100% on all of these contracts. So they are going to move around a lot. There may be an opportunity here to trade them if that's something you guys do like to do. I don't personally trade AMC options. I would much rather just go with the equity, aka the shares, hold on to them until the MOAS happens. That's definitely the safest thing to do. But we all know people trade these weekly contracts like nobody's business. And we are seeing a lot of open interest heading to about the $50 strike. Actually, over that, you're just seeing a lot of activity in general. Now, this option expiration week only goes to the $95 strike. So you are seeing all of this open interest. Essentially, if we do take a look at Stonko Tracker, about 190,000 calls that are out of the money, 29,000 calls that are currently in the money. So there's much more contracts that are out of the money that are in the money. So you do have a potential to see a lot of hedging because this is so short term. So let's say we do go from where we are currently at about $40 per share. Let's say we do go to about $43 per share, $44 or $45 per share. Then you do start to see the gamma going up on these options. That essentially means that the market makers have to go out and buy more shares. The higher the gamma goes, the more delta hedging that has to happen. And this even goes for all of the contracts on the strike. So specifically, I do also want to talk about December 17th and January 21st, 2022, because the same thing for December and January, you also see a high open interest. And what is very interesting about specifically the January 2022 expiration is that we only have about 60 days, give or take, until we do come to this expiration date, which we do have a ton of open interest. Almost 235,000 calls that are out of the money, 163,000 calls that are currently in the money. So very, very large numbers. And we only have, like I said, about 60 days until these do come due and roll around to expiring, either in the money or out of the money. But when we look at this, guys, we're seeing a lot of these lower strikes that have a substantial amount of open interest. And at this point, the gamma levels are going to go up rapidly because this time decay is really going to start taking a toll. And essentially what that means is that if all of these contracts have not been fully hedged for, they will now need to be hedged for. Not all at once, obviously, but throughout the next couple of weeks. And I'm just using January 21st for, a reference here because it does have the most contracts on the whole entire chain. But also the Decembers and basically every week has weeks that look like this with a lot of calls that are deep into the money. And that's something that doesn't get talked about very much, is that even these strikes that are further out, like January 2022, the closer you get to that, you will still see hedging. So you can see that play a role in a gamma squeeze. Obviously, when the gamma levels are so high with the weeklies, that's really where you do see the gamma squeeze actually start, but you can see this supported by the other option chains. And like I said, the strikes that are super deep into the money. And that's really what we're seeing even at the $40 strike for this 2022 expiration, is that we do have about 38,474 contracts at this $40 strike. So if we do go substantially over $40, you could even see some hedging done for this, just this contract alone and the January 22 expiration week. So that's really what you guys need to know. We do, like I said, have quite a bit of open interest expiring on Friday, and we should see this option chain get more activity. People just like the weeklies, and considering the low amount of calls that are in the money relative to the calls that are out of the money, you can see a quite substantial gamma squeeze. We're likely to have, by Wednesday, coming around 2 weeks left till expiration, we're probably going to have about 250, maybe 240,000 calls that are out of the money, unless we do see a lot of those obviously go into the money. But point is, you're going to see a lot of activity overall. Now, let's talk about my price prediction for AMC stock. And it comes down to a couple things. It comes down to this gamma squeeze that I do think is likely to play out, and the fact that earnings, we are following the same pattern that we had back here in August when AMC went from a round trip about 100% move from $28 per share all the way up to about $53 per share. We're following the same exact candlestick pattern. And just if you guys haven't seen this, green candles the day of earnings, right here, green candles, and then the next day just bloody red days for both of these last earnings. Actually, I should say the next 2 days after earnings, just like we see on both of these. And then they back here in August, you do start this bullish trajectory right back up, and you come to this level that we were at right at about the earnings day. At least that's what happened in August, and that put us at about $37 per share. Obviously, after earnings fell to about 28, and then made our way back up to about 37, and then did come down just a little bit less than we came down right after earnings. So point here is, guys, if we were at about $45 per share the day of earnings and then came down, if we follow the same exact pattern, we should go to about $45 per share this week, and then see a small pullback and then continue on this rally. Now, I'm not saying these charts are going to play out exactly the same. We might go to $44 per share, or $46 or $47 or even $50 per share. That's not as important as just recognizing the trend that is playing out. And just technically speaking, we are very bullish still. We have been hitting higher lows pretty much consecutively, besides back here when we went to about $35 per share. But overall, that is my price prediction, about $45 by the end of the week. That might be mild. If we do get a substantial gamma squeeze, we could go to about $50 per share. Nothing is off the table, and nothing would certainly surprise me at this current moment. Likely to see some resistance around $45 yet again, and then, like I said, a small pullback. But the big thing here is going to be volume. If we get volume coming back into the stock, that's when you're going to see those big moves, and it's only a matter of time before volume does go back into the stock. We're only seeing, even on Friday, we only seen about 23.5 million for volume. That is very, very low. Those are numbers that we have not seen in a super long time. Even back here in August, we had much more volume on a daily basis than what we're seeing now, but we are actually at a much higher price now than we were back here with the August earnings. And overall, this is telling you guys that we are seeing basically everybody holding on to their shares of AMC. So definitely still, very bullish activity, all that good stuff. Let's talk about the Ortex data and then wrap up this video, because we've went over the 13F filings many times. Don't really feel a need to get into that, just because there's not going to be anything new over the weekend, and we have already covered that. Now, I'm going to disregard the estimates here. Obviously, I've said this in a couple videos. They're just not accurate. So we're going to go off the exchange reported short interest data for AMC, and that settlement day was October 29th. So fairly recently. We should be getting this updated here pretty shortly as well. But we do have short percent of the free flow at 18.5%, days to cover at 2.66. That's the biggest thing as well. Once you get the volume coming in, days to cover will go down, but it's going to be harder for short sellers to cover on their short positions. And that's ultimately what you guys want to see, is a high days to cover. That's just showing a bullish sentiment overall. And shorted shares was almost at 95 million. So putting all of this into perspective here, I do think we're setting up for another major rally, and I think all of the evidence is here, and I've went over this many times. So check out the other videos on all of that for the deep dive thesis on, why I think AMC is going to go crazy. This is more focused on my price prediction and the gamma squeeze side of this and what we're looking like heading into this trading week. So that is going to conclude this video. Hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, as well as check out the links in the description for totally free stock, like I said, as well as the link for the buy and sell alerts if you guys want to be notified every time I make a trade in stock, options, and or crypto, whether it's a day trade, swing trade, or long-term investment. We do it all here on this channel. We are here to make you guys money and to provide an honest an open and transparent opinion on all of these topics. So that's going to be all for this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you in the next one.